Hey guys, this is HTO Mario, and I'm going to be showing you a Terran against Zerg game against Famut. This is the third time I've played Famut. One of the games you saw were casted on the Husky channel. Another game, I didn't decide to play. I still won though, and this is the third of the series that I've played against him now. So he definitely knows I mech, and he knows my general strategy. So one of the reasons I wanted to cast this is, one, he BMs, and it's always fun to post up BM. But two, it's good to show games where players have been exposed to mech on a frequent basis, so they know the general idea of what you're doing and how to counter it, and they've had time to think about it. So in this specific game, I'm trying out a new build to test out on him, since he's had so much practice against me. It is for a command center first. You drop this command center at 15 supply, and then you drop this barracks at 16 supply, and then you get a gas. You go up to 18 supply with SCVs, and then you produce one marine, and you build both orbital commands. That is the general build order so far. After this one marine, you want to get a supply depot down up front, and a factory, and move your barracks to create a reactor. This allows you to get Hellions out really fast. This build, at this stage of the game, is very cheesable to something like, let's say, a Baneling Bust or 7 Roach Rush, if it goes unscouted. After we created the barracks, we send this SCV out to scout, and we do see some roaches. So it's not quite a 7 Roach Rush, but it's definitely a Roach Rush. He's at 15 workers, and he'll be droning behind this, but we are going up to 3 command center. Upon scouting this, we place a bunker at the front. We set these 2 SCVs to auto-repair and on patrol. We build a Marauder and place it inside the bunker. We got a tech lab the moment we saw it, and then a Widow Mine. This makes it incredibly more difficult for him to engage me. On top of this, the Immortal has a farther range. It has a range of 6, and the Roach has a range of 4. So we can force the Immortal to the Roach to kind of run away from the Marauder, because it's going to be taking too much damage. And back home, while we build this command center, we're dropping down an armory. It's going to be a little bit difficult to go down the ramp. So I decide that he's probably going to drone up behind this, since I don't see any more reinforcements. And after planting this Widow Mine here, he's kind of forced to run away. I scan and make sure that he's been droning. So because he's been droning so much, and because I figured he would be, I get Hellbat traps. What I did in order to do this is that once the Surge Command Center was started, I started the armory. After the armory, I started the starport. I get +1 attack, and I start producing. I get a reactor on this factory, but I start producing Hellbats and a Medevac. And after the Medevac, I can do a Viking to kind of like kill overlords around the map, and then I expand and throw down a bunker, place my Widow Mine. And then, this puts me relatively safe against what he's been doing, because I know that he's been macroing up and not producing units. The Marauders are also pretty good against Roaches, and I have a Widow Mine already to help me defend against Roach pushes. And then Hellbats aren't terrible against Roaches at the early stages of the game, as long as there aren't a critical amount and I have some support units, so he still takes damage trying to kite the Hellbats. I immediately take my double gas, since I'm already on 3 command center. The Zerg at this stage of the game, uninterrupted, should have been at about 50 to 60 harvesters. Because of his cheese, he's behind a lot. He was able to delay my expo while he saturated his, however. But if you're counting the mules, I have 3 mules, which means 12 more workers on minerals. So I'm actually economically I'm farther ahead than him. I also begin an engineering bay and another factory. The other factory is in case he decides to heavily go into a push, so I can get siege tanks, and the engineering base in case he goes for a fast lair, kind of like this lair. and except faster, and goes for the fast Mutalisk play of another Hellbat Droplet going out over here. I didn't notice this before, but I do see this now, this Roach attack. So I'm not able to respond to it, so you will see me react to it when it hits my base. I was focusing on this drop. I do see a lot of Zergling spawn though. So I killed quite a decent amount of workers. And I haven't been able to wall this off yet because this Widow Mine is blocking the way. I do begin another command center, 2 missile turrets in case of Mutalisk, and 2 more factories. I realized that, at this stage of the game, I realized this army is too strong. I need time. I need units to be able to hold it off. I must sacrifice the SCVs in this base to attack and weaken him so that he cannot come up this ramp. Once he's in my production facilities, it's game over. Since I've been able to kill so many workers, and I'm doing another drop, I'm currently twice the workers he has, I can afford to lose these to give me the power to stay in the game. Building another command center and base because I have a huge excess of minerals, and I'm losing a lot of workers. These Hellbats, with the support of the Marines, were able to take out a large amount of Zerglings and a few Roaches. Now I have a siege tank, sending my SCVs to repair the wall while my siege tank fires down. One of the reasons this isn't working so well for him is because he doesn't. If he was a Zergling, if he was Zerglings attacking the wall would take more damage from the siege tank firing upon it. He's pretty far spaced away, and so only a few Roaches can attack my depot at a time. I have quite a bit of SCVs repairing this wall, so it will take more than what he has right here to take it down. He has to set up more units. Back at his base, my Hellbats have been able to destroy his mineral line. He's at 16 workers to my 23. This isn't a terrible position for Zerg, however, I have 5 possible orbital commands, 3 already done, and then 2 more, so I have a pretty large income. And here comes the BM. At this stage of the game, I'm able to produce a lot of Hellbats because I have a lot of minerals, and then I can produce like Medivacs and Siege Tank and upgrades without, with the amount of gas I have. I don't go for mass Siege Tanks because then I can't keep upgrading and I can't keep harassing with Medivacs. Since I'll have an excess amount of minerals, I know that a few tanks and lots of Hellbats are able to drive him from my expo, so I can take it, which I can then saturate more gas and then get more tanks to take my third. So this is the end of the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and let's sit back and watch the BM.